So the problem I'm running into, and I've seen a lot of these cars have, is the glove box is closed and it won't open, it's just locked. I read a little bit on the internet, some say force it open and then adjust some screws. I'm gonna try it with this a little bit, see if that helps. Another thing they say is to come on this side, pry this open. It's supposed to come right off. And it does. Okay. It's just a few clips. Now let's see. Okay, that's actually loosening the entire thing here. So I read on a forum that you have to look in there for a little white tab. I think I see it. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. And hit it with a coat hanger or something that can reach it. I'm gonna give that a try. Okay, this is really hard to show on camera, so I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys what I grabbed onto. Here, I'll go ahead and annotate the video later on. So as you can see, there's a little wire in there. And what I did was I used this hook, pushed it from here, and pulled on that wire that's back there. And when I pulled on it, I was able to open the glove box. So now I got it open, and it looks like the part from that sits in here and locks onto this, it actually fell in. And also this looks like maybe it's working okay. When I push on this, I feel like that should move, and it's not. When I'm pushing here, nothing's happening here. I'm thinking I may have to adjust the tension of the wire that I pulled on to open this to make this work better. So to get this glove box out so I can see under it, I went ahead and removed the paneling on this side, just using this thing here, and just these are all just clips. As you can see here, here's the paneling. You got these clips. As this was sitting here, I went ahead and kind of pry these open. I think you get the idea with that. And now I can see another screw here. And that should be good. Yep, there we go. Now, if you take a look here, this is the part I had to pull in order to open it. It's the mechanism right here, and it looks like it might actually be working. So when it closes, this gets pushed, and then when you push the button, this is supposed to release it. So let's see, does it work? So this I pulled earlier and it released it. I think maybe it's kind of like one of those bike cables for the brakes. I think this can be adjusted to where it puts a little bit more pressure when you pull on it. And to do that, I don't know if it's with this thing. But yeah, this is basically the mechanism. I'll figure it out in a little bit. So I got the whole thing out and looked at the mechanism. I know what the issue is now. So this right here, it can be adjusted. You see when I push the button here, nothing is happening. I think over time, this has gotten loose. So if you take this out and turn this to where it comes up further up, and put it back in, and now when you push the button, it's pulling on it. Now I don't know if that's quite enough. I have a feeling I need more, but that's the general idea of this. Oh yeah, now it's really pulling on it. So I think that should fix it. My other problem is this thing in here broke off, the latch that goes inside here. So now I gotta figure if this is fixable. I can see there's another screw in there, one's gone. In the process of getting this open, I think when I was doing this part here came apart. It's broken, it needs to be screwed in on the inside, it looks like. So try not to do what I did, where you push too much. It could also be the age of it and it was gonna go anyway. But I want to put this back in somehow. I have heard of people saying that they just use magnets here and here and the opposing edges, and it holds closed. But I really want to see if I can get this back in here so the latch can close properly. So in order to get back here, it looks like this is all glued. I went ahead and started using a hair dryer to heat it a bit and slowly pry it open, and it seems to be working. And just gently pulling it back. Seems to want to open. Just got to be very careful with it. I don't want to break it. This took a few hours to get apart. It's not easy. I wouldn't recommend doing it fast. Basically, as you saw, was heated up, push hard. The sides here were a little bit more stuck. Just heat it up and slowly push until it gives. And we have this. Now I can access this real easy. I can epoxy this back on later. It looks like it was just glued on in the first place. One of my screws was broken when I opened this thing up, and I have one other screw. I was able to find some little screws, hopefully it will work, but the thing is, on both sides of the screw there's already a crack, which means the screws are not going to hold forever. So what I did was I created an epoxy. This is Plastic Bond JB Weld. Sets pretty fast, so I went ahead and created this to put under to reinforce when I put this back on and screw it down. Hopefully it will just be strong enough to hold at this point. By the way, if you get any of this epoxy stuff on your hands or your tools and you want to take it off, one of the best things to do, get some, before it dries of course, you have to put some nail polish remover on a napkin. I was lucky enough my girlfriend had some already, so I went ahead and got my hands cleaned. So I did notice there's another hole down here, and one of these other screws that I had, I think it should help it hold. Alright, this has been sitting for a while. It looks like this has set really well. It's not moving, it's not pretty, but it is going to be covered up with this. I probably could have taken my time and do it a little better. So this is still moving, that's good. And let's test it out. It locks and unlocks. So I went ahead and let this sit for a few hours to make sure that the proxy sets. It's time to go ahead and get it back in there. This thing has got a nice seal back on here. You may not have to do any of this if you don't have a problem with this part here, which is on mine. It got broken. I think I might have pushed too hard. Connect this part. And that was just pulling. If you can see it here, pulled back on this thing and it released it. It's just a little push button, push it back in, and it's locked in. Then we have this here, which is the AC that goes inside. In most cases, if your trunk is stuck, this is what's causing it. What I did in my case, it wasn't working. This was way over to the other side, which is, this is the right way. Okay, let me just turn it just to show you again. So you see it was further back here, and I think over time something has happened. Maybe it just shrunk, whatever. I adjusted it to about here and put it back in here. And now when I push this, I can definitely see it's moving right here. Now that I have it together, let's just see if this actually releases. Yep, it sure does. Again, closing and opening. One other thing that you want to keep in mind is these two screws control how far in this part will go. In some cases, they say if you pull these out a bit, maybe turn them to the left, they come out a little bit. It doesn't go further in. In my case, I had to push these in all the way to be able to get this to work. Okay, so as you can see, I put these screws in on the bottom. That's helping hold this, and then I just have to move this a little bit forward and then just push them in. You just push these in and they clip right on. So here we are. We have it all fixed up. I'm gonna put a light in there, and that's it.